Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
The race for the White House now into its third night of counting, with Joe Biden sitting at 264 electoral votes and President Trump at 214. Good to have you with us at 11. Even with hundreds of thousands of votes counted today, the electoral map looks just as it did 24 hours ago, though we do have much tighter races now in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Nevada.
Former Vice President Joe Biden only needs to win one of those states, while the president needs to win them all. Let's start with the battleground state of Pennsylvania, where the president's lead is down to around 26,000 votes. Election officials there say all the votes likely to be counted by tomorrow.
In Georgia, the ballot's still being counted tonight, with President Trump's lead shrinking and now, in fact, down to fewer than 2,000 votes, with about 16,000 votes left to count.
And Joe Biden continues to lead in Nevada, but the counting there has finished for the night, with the next update in that race not expected until sometime tomorrow afternoon. And after not hearing from President Trump on Wednesday, tonight the president delivered a 17-minute speech in the White House briefing room.
President laying the groundwork for contesting the outcome of the election. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
At a fork in the road to the White House, a study in contrast between the two candidates. Tonight, President Trump trailing Joe Biden on the electoral map and claiming with no evidence whatsoever that the election is being rigged.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
Biden, on the other hand, projecting confidence and urging faith in the system.
I ask everyone to stay calm, all the people to stay calm. The process is working. The count is being completed.
Biden now has multiple paths to a win, with tight races in all the unsettled battleground states. That includes the biggest prize, Biden's birthplace of Pennsylvania, where elections officials say the vast majority of votes had been counted by early this evening.
But because it's a close race, it's not quite clear yet who the winner is.
Biden getting a boost from mail-in ballots the Democrats preferred in this pandemic, chipping away at the president's early lead from Republicans who were more inclined to vote in person. The Trump campaign launching a barrage of legal challenges, though judges swiftly dismissed them in Georgia and Michigan, finding no evidence of law-breaking.
Give us access!
While on the streets, protesters demanding their voices be heard and votes be counted.
Alice Barr, Local 4.
Meanwhile, back here at home, dueling groups of protesters spent the night yelling at each other outside the TCF Center, where the vote counting process has been quite contentious since Tuesday.
Let's get to Mara McDonald live downtown. Mara, dozens of Detroit police officers had to keep the groups apart.
They did, Devin, and here's how this thing looked out here. You had a bunch of protesters on the plaza right in front of me, and then you go across the street, and that's where the other group of protesters was, with DPD trying to be the buffer in the middle.
Donald Trump is your president! 4 more years!
What motivated these groups to come out tonight may have started with the counting of the ballots here at TCF, but there were multiple ideologies at play and in the mix. It was not just a Trump v. Biden screaming fest, but rants about globalist conspiracies as well as anti-government, anti-mask, and Black Lives Matter.
We come out with bullhorns and drop truth bombs.
There were about 20 to 25 people in each group, separated by the Detroit Police Department. Lots of officers, lots of flashing lights, who were calm and non-confrontational, but moved quickly to provide a barrier between the two when it looked as though there could be some physical contact. It went back to just yelling at that point.
Let's defund the police! Defund the media! Defund the mainstream media!
Back here live, ultimately DPD started moving these groups further and further away from each other and out of the immediate area, and they ultimately just decided to disperse and go home. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
You know, Mara, I'm curious, Mara, the center of attention over all this has been the ballots themselves. Are they still there at TCF, or have those been moved now?
Devin, they've all been moved to a secure location. There's nothing going on here anymore. And yet I think that we probably will still see some more protests out here. It just doesn't matter whether the votes are here or not.
Yeah, Elvis, though, and the ballots have left the building. All right, Mara. Michigan back in the national spotlight tonight when the president alleged the election is being stolen from him.
During that speech, he claimed he won the state and says Detroit can't be responsible for deciding the outcome of the election.
There's tremendous litigation going on, and this is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. Detroit and Philadelphia, known as two of the most corrupt political places anywhere in our country, easily cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race.
Now, the Secretary of State's office is responding tonight with this statement. It reads, quote, Mr. Trump's claims are entirely false. Michigan's elections were conducted fairly and transparently, and the results are an accurate reflection of the will of Michigan voters, end quote.
Now, the president's comments come as two Republicans here in Michigan have not yet conceded the race, despite the Associated Press calling those races.
Let's start in the Senate race, where Gary Peters has defeated John James by more than 80,000 votes to win re-election. James released a statement earlier today saying, quote, there is enough credible evidence to warrant an investigation to ensure that elections were conducted in a transparent, legal, and fair manner. Although the James campaign has so far not offered any specific evidence to support a claim of cheating or to warrant an investigation.
And in a congressional race, Haley Stevens won in her race to keep her seat over the challenger Eric Osaki, but so far Osaki has not conceded the race. All right, now to coronavirus in Michigan, with the state reporting today a new daily record of cases. 5,710
new cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. Along with that, 51 new deaths have been reported, including 26 from a review of past vital records. Nationwide, there were 114,000 new cases, also a new daily record. Larry Spruill is live tonight with the warning state leaders are now sending as cases continue to spike here. Larry.
Kimberly, our state leaders are saying they are seeing more COVID cases here in Michigan, which is really not a good thing. They also mentioned that we are going in the wrong direction. Now they have a warning tonight for what may come this holiday season.
We're seeing more than 5 times the number of new cases per day now than we saw in early September.
Chief Medical Executive Dr. Jonae Caldoun says the proof is in the numbers, and right now we're not heading in the right direction when it comes to COVID-19 cases.
We have models that estimate that at the rate we are going, if we don't do anything else, if we don't change our behaviors, we could be seeing up to 100 deaths a day by the end of December.
This pandemic has ravaged our state, infecting more than 190,000 Michiganders.
That's why Governor Gretchen Whitmer announced Thursday she's calling on the state legislature for some much needed help.
This week I sent a letter to the Republican leaders in the legislature urging them to pass legislation that requires Michiganders to wear masks in indoor places and crowded outdoor areas. It would be helpful to our health, our safety, and our economy if it was codified in a bipartisan way with the legislature, and that's what we've asked for.
Dr. Caldoun says masks are important as hospitalizations are going up in every region across the state.
As hospitalizations go up, we expect deaths to follow within a few weeks. Our 7-day average for deaths is at 19, twice what it was at the beginning of September. We cannot control very many things, but we can control our own behaviors. Especially as we move into the holiday season, please enjoy yourself, but be safe.
And he also reached out to the city of Detroit asking about the COVID-19 cases here in our area, and they sent me this statement. It says, overall, we are seeing an uptick in the number of COVID-19 cases and a rise in the number of hospitalizations in Detroit. At this time, our infection rate is much lower than surrounding counties and the state. However, we must remain vigilant and not become too relaxed. Our goal is to continue partnering with schools and businesses so they have the resources and information they need to help slow the spread of this virus in our city. We are live in downtown Detroit tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Larry, just curious, did Dr. Caldoun say which areas in the state have the highest cases right now?
Yeah, Kimberly, so she did. She broke down the regions in our areas. She said they are seeing the most COVID-19 cases in the UP and Grand Rapids area. Now, as far as Detroit, Saginaw, Lansing, and Traverse City regions all have between 5 to 7% positivity cases right now. Kimberly?
Okay, Larry reporting for us. We appreciate it. Larry Spruill live tonight. A registered sex offender is accused of exposing himself to Eastern Michigan University students in Ypsilanti. Police say 37-year-old Gregory Gentles, who moved to Ypsilanti earlier this year, has been going on campus and exposing himself to students in the library and other places around the city. He was arrested after a business owner spotted him and called police. Now investigators are asking anyone who may have been a victim to come forward. He'll face a judge tomorrow on felony charges.
A warrant for former Macomb County Clerk Karen Spranger's arrest was recalled last month after she paid restitution and fines in a criminal case. That's according to a report from the Detroit Free Press. The warrant was issued after Spranger failed to appear at a September hearing. She was accused, of course, of stealing money in 2019 from a 78-year-old woman for whom she was taking care back in August. Spranger pleaded no contest to the case. Spranger was elected in 2016 and then removed in 2018 after a judge determined she had lied about where she lived on the election paperwork.
Still ahead, a group of firefighters save a baby's life.
Dramatic rescue and how the group worked together in raging floodwaters coming up. Here comes Ben.
Devin and Kim, we have struggled through the worst weather day this week. And if you think clouds and 65 are bad, wait till you see the good stuff on the other side. Let's check it out for you next.
All right, Ben, but first, 2 arrests made in connection with the murder of a Metro Detroit woman who was found killed inside her home 3 years ago. How her family is reacting to the big break in the case next.